Hey everybody. I haven't changed the title yet because when I change the title it doesn't work. Let's see. 7, 6. Good reason not to change it. Today's the 6th. Okay. I changed the title on YouTube and Twitch. So should be okay now. Hey Mark. Hey Raj, thanks for subbing. Hey Z Boss Gaming, thanks for subbing. Let's see. Let's put this on YouTube, I guess. Yeah, that looks good. I just woke up from a nap. I'm still tired from Vegas, and I came back on Wednesday. Go Tensor Extension. Go Delp. So we have 8 games to look at, and I'm supposed to stream for 3 hours. So there'll be a lot of downtime. Ooh, protein. Now, there's only 1 game per customer, even though Sit Bear tries to send several. Our friend Sean Deeb got the second in one of the tournaments at WSOP, and the previous one he got first. So he's currently leading for Player of the Year, which is something he wants. Yeah, Archer 2 days ago, saw F1. Said it was good. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm just tired. This morning, I weighed my lowest again. I was 223. Welcome back to the stream. Planning to learn the Joko piano, but you'll get back down to 2,000. What are the odds that you play against Gotham in Classical? Pretty low. How am I doing? I'm doing fine. What was my peak FIDE rating? Before you were born, 2563. Yeah, I'm just kidding. You can learn any opening you want. What are your thoughts on the Scandinavian? I don't think about it too much. I'm sure it's fine. You should play openings you like. Usually, if an opening has a name, it's usually okay. Oh yeah, I didn't tell a funny story. When I played the poker room at the Horseshoe, a lot of the dealers recognized me from chess. The dealer sits down that I know, and he says, the previous dealer at our table isn't a chess player, but his last name is Musio, and he's related to the guy the Museo Gambit is named after. So I thought that was interesting. A lot of the dealers at the World Series of Poker are new because they need a lot of dealers. Basically, take anybody. And one of the cash games, the first guy called under the gun. Then it went around. Nobody raised. Then the big blind, who was friends with under the gun, they came together. He folded, even though he's already in. I've seen that. Okay. Then, action's over. under the gun raised. So the dealer didn't care. The dealer doesn't know what's going on. So I said to the dealer, he can't raise. And while I was saying that, somebody who called pre-flop folded to the raise. And the dealer's like, he raised. And I said, he can't raise. He already called. He can't raise himself. And she didn't understand. And one of the other players is like, yeah, he can't raise. He already called. And I said, he raised himself. He can't raise. The action's over. And the guy who folded already folded because to the raise. And I'm like, oh, and so forth. So I'd never seen a guy raise himself and then somebody folded to the raise and the dealer didn't understand why the guy couldn't raise. So anyway, it was an interesting hand. Fortunately, I had already folded, so I wasn't affected by the nonsense. Do you like poker or chess more? Do you mean, do I dislike them more? Ugh. I like them both when I'm win, but I don't win anymore at either one. So, truth hurts. Jim Can Chess subscribed. Good, good. Hey, Jim. I like the game you submitted. You wrote your name, and for your opponent, you wrote my opponent. That's good. Boy, you made a typo in every word you typed. My favorite typo is high with lots of eyes. I have no advice. Play a lot of chess and you'll learn the openings. Are you more of the aggressive or passive type in poker? I would say I'm a maniac. That used car was never owned by a celebrity. It was owned by another dentist. John Voight with an H. Yeah, the only solution to any of your chess problems is to buy my Chessable courses. Hello, I'm doing well. Hungry. I haven't eaten in a long time. Can't really start now. Don't die? Well, problem is when you're born, you're sort of stuck. Only way not to die is to not be born. So, truth hurts. You ate a nectarine? I don't think I like nectarines. Also, nectarines and peaches, I don't know the difference. Or plums or something. I don't know. Greetings from the Hell. Hell, Michigan? I've been to Hell, Michigan. Besides normal chess, do you like any variant? Not really, no. I just like normal chess. Hey, Plectramura. Hello. None of them helped. No. Did you win more or lose more from poker? I lost money at poker, but it wasn't a lot. Is 38 too early? 38's pretty early. Yay, Fen Beingold. 1,000 bits. And he's talking about Snap, which we did on a previous stream. Oh, Snap. But I won more money at blackjack than I lost at poker. So I made some money on the trip. Do you like Pai Gow and Baccarat? No, I don't. I've never played either one or know the rules. I've seen them. Fen Beingold gifted 5 subs. Go Fen Beingold, but stay there. Thanks for the support. Do you watch or bet any sports? I don't bet sports, but I watch them. Actually, is there betting on chess? Probably. What do you think about the next UFC event in the White House? I haven't really thought about it. Darts? When I lived in Europe before you were born, I would watch darts on BBC. But since I've moved back to the US, I don't think I've watched it. Big money, no whammy, stop. $5. Just went to a tournament and went 0-8. Yeah, when I was a kid, 0-8 was normal. Just got to keep playing. If I played in Super GM tournaments, I would also go 0-8. Truth hurts. Hey, Pat. It's Pat. What's more likely? Gotham Chess getting GM or Ben Feingold being drafted to World War III? Yeah, they're but equally likely. There was a chess player in St. Louis, and he lost his first 58 USCF rated games. Then he finally didn't lose. Do you support an NFL, NBA team? Well, I live in Atlanta, so I support the local teams. The Falcons aren't very good. Neither are the Hawks. Braves aren't good this year, but they used to be good. And usually I root for the Detroit teams because I'm from Detroit. If Magnus retired today, who is the strongest chess player? I don't know. They're all about the same at the top. Used to play tackle basketball. How many games? We have 8. Yay, we have a hype train. No, I don't think Magnus is going to play in the World Championship anymore. I don't really drink either one anymore. We only just drink regular water. Fen Beingold used to spend thousands of hours playing blackjack. The most money I ever won at a $25 table was from a guy that split 10s, 12s against, broke every other rule. Kept yelling monkey and donkey. Well, that's good. Hi, Chess TV. I'm Ben. We're in the middle of a hype train. Jim Can Chess gifted a sub to the Wonder McBlunder. Zippy is famous. You reading YouTube chats? No. Zippy Tuna gifted a sub. Go Zippy. Now you're more famous. Welcome to the Chess TV people. Today is Sub Sunday. So analyze subs games that were submitted earlier. There'll be a lot of breaks between games because we have a lot of time, etc. I try not to play chess on stream because then people will leave. So we'll see how bad I am. Thanks for complimenting my lecture. Bookcase is in another room. Moved it about 3 months ago. Karen didn't like the way the bookcase looked on stream. Go Zagreb. Yeah, Karen will put something there eventually. Not a bookcase, but something else. Do you think we will ever see women world champion in chess? Probably not while I'm alive, but maybe after I die. Possible. Very low percentage of tournament chess players are women. Go Fen Beingold. I'll tell her. Painting of Hans is good. Yeah, we have a green screen. That's why your ex shot at you because you played the cow opening? Does messing up or getting crushed feel worse at the master level? Probably. Is 49 too old to start my first OTB tournament? No age is too old. Go Hype Train. We can do it. Usually, you have to play a lot of chess to get better at chess. Could someone submit game for Sub Sunday? Not today, but next week you can do it. Gotta do it the day of the stream, but about an hour before the stream starts or earlier than that. Yeah, my Chessable courses are pretty good. Chessable, what's that? Okay, I guess we can look at a game now. Let's see. Hi, Ben. This is my best win on chess.com. I was black this game. Mike. Okay, it's a 5-minute game. White's rated 2064. Black is rated 1912. Black is our hero. Okay, so far, players are playing pretty good. Also good. Okay, most grandmasters play d3 here, and then some people play knight g5. Both good. White played knight c3, which doesn't have a good reputation, because black is considered to equalize immediately with knight takes e4, which I've played on stream many times. Black didn't do that. Black played bishop c5. Grandmasters don't play knight c3, but there was a game played, rapid tournament, a few years ago between Mamedyarov and So. And Mamedyarov played knight c3. So took on e4, and So ended up winning with black. Bishop c5 is also okay. H5 is a bit crazy, but I guess it's a 5-minute game, so you can probably get away with it. But yeah, that's computer doesn't like that. A3 is a little weird. The engine just takes the bishop and says white's doing well. Though in a 5-minute game, black would have a nice attack. It's hard to defend in 5 minutes. So white played knight a4. Strange move. Thanks, Sven Beingel, for subscribing at tier 3. You're the best. Knight takes e4 is good. The engine says this is equal. It says d4 is good. These moves are all good, and it says it's equal, even though this is completely crazy. I think in a slow game, I don't know what color I'd like to be. In a blitz game, I'll take black. Knight g5 is the only move to maintain equality. White played knight h2, which just loses to queen h4. Yeah, knight g5 blocks out the black queen from the initiative on the king side. Now queen h4 just wins. Now the engine announces mate, because black's attack down the h file is too strong. Again, it's a 5-minute game, so it's hard to defend. Yeah, in this position, it says black should play king f8. Now it says black's winning after queen d4, but there's no mate. But yeah, obviously black is up a rook, so nothing much to discuss. never play f3. Until then, white had good chances. White doesn't know the meaning of the word resign. Now white knew the meaning. Yeah, basically, black played hyper aggressive. White wasn't able to defend in a blitz game. Makes sense. Nice game. White could have resigned 15 moves earlier, but played on down a rook, which is okay in blitz chess, I guess. I don't know what the time situation was on the clock. So. But, the key moment the game was here. White needed to play knight g5. Engine slightly prefers black. And also, after bishop g4, in this position, the engine wants to take the bishop, says white's better. It doesn't like knight a4. But taking the bishop is scary, as white found out later. Yeah, attacking's fun in blitz chess. So, we're doing a chessable course on my rules, like never play f3. There's going to be a move trainer and video. I'm doing the video. Move trainer is going to be by Jeremy Kane. And that's going to come out probably in January, but possibly in December, depending on how fast me and Jeremy are. And then in August, my course on the Albin counter gambit is coming out. So working on 2 courses right now. For chessable. Never resign is one of the rules. Yeah. Do you have any courses for the Scotch or Scotch Gambit? I do not. Go tensor extension. Don't understand the last chat. Okay, next game is Sit Bear versus NN. Sit Bear says, I was playing an older guy, so I decided to castle long and attack. I obviously didn't play perfectly, but it worked. With 21 queen e8, gave up his counterplay, and basically just folded his hand. After that, I had no problem. Okay, so Sit Bear is white. He's 1632, and his opponent's 1500. This was played 40 moves in 80 minutes, followed by sudden death 30 with 30-second delay. This game was played last year. Sit Bear likes to play f4 sometimes. Now, unfortunately, Sit Bear played g4 and got mated. Terrible. And it was still the best game of the day. Okay, Sit Bear instead played knight f3. Knight c3 is a very strange move. So far, so good. Engine likes black. Doesn't like bishop d7 very much, but that looks pretty natural. Put it in h. Yeah, white could just play g4 now, not lose a tempo with h3. Opening the g file is pretty nice for white. Yeah, rook c8 looks okay. What's the elo here? Oh, I announced it right before the game. White is 1632, black is 1500. The engine likes black, wants black to play b5 every move. It still prefers black slightly. Okay, now it doesn't like that move. The knight's on the edge of the board. It says either one of these moves is okay. It still prefers black. Black has two bishops. It doesn't like that move. It wants to play other rook to g1 because now the rook on h1 is sort of trapped in the corner with this bishop here and stuff. So, in fact, d4 is the engine move. g6 is risky. It opens up black's king. Still says black is slightly better. Again, no reason to prepare b5. Just play b5 now, which is the right move. It doesn't like that move. It doesn't like that move. It wants black to take, then play c4. It's complicated because queen d4, but it says black is winning. It gives crazy variations. After knight g7, now it says white's better. Now, white's threatening mate. Black played f6. Never play f6. Doesn't like b4. Wants to play h5. b4 seems reasonable. Yeah, and queen e8 is too passive, as Sit Bear pointed out. Yeah, now black doesn't have any initiative against white's king. And white obviously has a big attack. Now white just wins a piece. Truth hurts. Now, God knows what it's like when Sit Bear has a gun. King takes G7. Yeah, black has to play Rook G6, threatening Rook G1 mate. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, black sort of gave up without a fight, but black was going to lose anyway. Nice game by Sit Bear. Topsy-turvy game. Both sides had the advantage, and then black sort of collapsed. Who are these people? Well, white Sit Bear, and black is NN. NN plays a lot of games on this stream. Fen Beingle, 500 bits. Do you play E4, Knight GE7, or E5 against the Grob? I mean, it would be Knight E7, not Knight GE7. I've never faced the Grob, so I don't know. Kobe is correct. Yeah, against G4, almost anything gives black the advantage. Yeah, black didn't defend very well this game. Nelly Purtado, you have to say no to drugs. Can bad players submit games? Only bad players can submit games. Yeah, if you sub, you can submit one for next week. It's a requirement that you're bad. It's Pat. Well, Pat's the exception that proves the rule. Is 2450 bad enough? Well, not that bad. Trying to decide whether I should go make some soup. But probably. What kind? Vegan. It takes 3 minutes. No soup for you. Man, truth hurts. How old were you when your skill was around 1300? Uh, Probably like 9.5 or 10. Sending games is impossible. So Nelly Furtado, many years ago, went to like a like a club that was celebrating the fact that she had sold a lot of albums. It was like a party in her honor, and she got there, and they wouldn't let her in because they already had too many people. So she went home. Truth hurts. Yeah, sending games is impossible. Type exclam analysis. Also, it's too late to send a game for this stream. Okay, I'll go make soup. I'm not sure if I'm gonna come back down or wait for it to finish. So it could be a while. I decided to come back while it's in the microwave. Uh, on Wednesday in the afternoon, I'll be doing live commentary with Mike Klein on one of the chess.com YouTube or Twitch or both. It's a simul given by David Howell against a few junior players who were like FM strength. I think it starts 1 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, you're not really going to know how the end game looks based on the opening, unless you're a super GM and you have 30 moves of prep. Could you buy GM norms? Probably. It's been done. Hello. What's the hardest game you ever won in your life? I don't know. I played too many games. I thought I told Nelly Furtado to say no to drugs. Your questions are shallow and pedantic. Okay, I'll go get my soup. Yeah, I get this soup by ordering it from Amazon. Also, where I get my protein drink. Okay, let's look at another game. Chat's sort of falling off, so. Okay, this is from Dexter, and he wrote boring draw. That's all he wrote. White's rated 1877, black is rated 1948, and it was a 3-minute game. Played on chess.com. Then, at the end of the game, black checkmated white, but his note to the game is it's a boring draw. So, okay. Black wins a boring draw, I guess. Okay, a little unorthodox from both players. G4 is interesting. You know, the engine likes white a lot. Says black should have played H6. Wow, it says the best move is Rook F5. Wow. It still says white's better. It doesn't like that move. Want white to play H4. Interesting position. Still says white's slightly better. Never play F3. Now it says it's equal. Doesn't like E4. Now it says black's better. Now it says black's winning. Doesn't like D3. That opens up white's bishop. It says black is still winning. Yeah, it likes that sacrifice. Very interesting 3-minute game. White didn't do a good job developing kingside. Pittsburgh Prime subscribed, but not with Prime. Pittsburgh Prime gifted 5 subs. Yay. Thank you. Yeah, my dad was born in Pittsburgh. Before you were born. What am I eating? Soup. Did you ever have Scholastic students in New York City? Yes. I thought you were going to make soup. Oh, water's boiling? Okay. That was an interesting game. This is game 4. Hi, Ben. First round game played a few weekends, I assume he means ago, in Montreal. Time control was game 90 plus 30. My opponent was an unrated 8-year-old. I think my opponent was ahead, but thankfully I recognized the opportunity to get to a drawn king and pawn versus king ending. And more thankfully, I remembered how to defend it. He, however, didn't realize it, and the arbiter declared the game drawn. The arbiter declared the game drawn. What? Okay, and our hero's white. Any tips on getting from 1400 to GM? Yeah, you should double your rating. The easiest way is to start your own company and make yourself the GM. Okay, our hero is white. He's rated 1222 in Canada. So far, so good. Knight c6 isn't great. Now white's a little better. Black's pawns are compromised. Good play by white so far. The engine wants to take with the knight so that white controls the e5 square. Now black can play e5 and black's equal. Queen a3? Strange move. It's okay. says this ending's equal. Makes sense. Yeah, taking here's not very good because it gives white isolated pawn. White had nice pawn structure. That ruins white's pawn structure. So that's not the best move. So it's black slightly better due to white's unusual pawn structure. Here it wants black to play g6 to effectively kill the white knight. Never play f6. Strange maneuver. Knight's better on f5 than g4. Now white's in a lot of trouble. His pawns are weak. Down a pawn. Yeah, your opponent's pretty good. King g8's a good move. Yeah, here black should defend the pawn before playing knight c5. Yeah, and here white should play rook e7. Now white's just lost. Engine says black is +5. Yeah, and here black blundered the pawn with king d6. So king d6 is double question mark because it loses the a pawn. Now it should be a draw, but black has winning chances. King g5 is weird when you can play king e3. White's defense is impeccable. That wasn't a bad game. How do you know what's a best move versus a normally good move? The engine tells me. That wasn't a bad game. Games are pretty good this week. Yeah, Wesley So came out of nowhere and got second in Zagreb. What's a good setup against Perk? Bishop E3, Queen D2, Long Castle, and Mate. Okay, let's look at the next game. Was very happy with how I played this game. Really good maneuvering in the middle game, and a really good conversion from the exchange up. This was 60-minute with 5-second increment or delay. I don't know. I guess black is our hero. Black won. So far, pretty good. That move is unusual because white can play e5 now. So far, pretty boring. A standard maneuver, this pawn structure. Black tries to get a knight to d4. So, pretty normal. I wonder if you take with the knights, you can play knight e6. Yeah, it says they're about the same. Now black's slightly better. That just hangs in exchange. Black was threatening knight b3. I get white was oblivious about. Pretty bad since it's game in an hour to make such a mistake. Boy, king g3 is not very good. White resigned. Yeah, in this position, black is slightly better. Black's threatening knight b3. But white didn't see it. Then black won. Yeah, don't blunder like that. Yeah, black made 0 blunders that game, so black won. Pretty good game for black. Yeah, my soup was good, as per usual. Truth hurts. Wonder if white is the Terrence from Terrence and Phillip. I guess we'll never know. Exactly. I'm not good at chess. Reviewing this game was really funny because of how egregiously bad it was in hindsight. Eval bar had a workout, I tell you what. I am the white pieces. Doesn't say time control or anything. Doesn't say the result. So far, they're playing good. I don't like bishop b4 check very much. Or bishop d2. Yeah, here white should play c3. b3? b3's not good. Yeah, now black can just take on d4. And he did. Yeah, the engine just says black's winning. The most incisive winning move is knight e4. The idea is you attack the queen, and if the queen moves, then you play queen a5 check. Rook b6 is okay. King e7? What? Yeah, this just wins a pawn. Black's a pawn up. It's still good for black. That loses a queen because black can play knight f3 check and then queen takes queen. Pretty easy tactic. But black played there and the game goes on. Now knight f3 check still wins material. It still wins. Still wins. Yeah, and that move's terrible. Now it says after queen e1, white's winning. So white's threatening knight d5 check and all kinds of pins. That just hangs a rook with check. Black should play queen b6, defending the rook. Queen's attacked, rook's attacked. That just hangs the rook with check. Okay, and white didn't take it, but queen takes rook check is a good move. Now, knight f3 check once again is winning. Yay, white took the rook. Yeah, here white should play knight c5 check, which attacks the queen. After this check, black can take with the queen. And white's still winning. That wasn't the best game. If Bonarici's here, he should do a cap score for that game, since he's good at that. It's not going to be good. Yeah, there were a lot of tactical mistakes. You're walking the cat. No. That was a well played game. Well, there were some tactical errors from both players, but then White took all of Black's pieces. So then Black lost. That game reminds me of a saying this guy in Michigan had 40 years ago. He said, "Don't put your pieces in the center, they could get hurt there." Yeah, I could use an air conditioner. I streamed again. Where do I live? In suburban Atlanta. I took my phone to stream. Let's see. No texts. See if I got any emails. Nope. But I'm charging my phone. It's at 99%. It's exciting. It's funny. Karen and I are friends with two of the best poker players in the world. Sean Deeb, who's going to win Player of the Year this year at the World Series of Poker, most likely. And Dan Weinman, whose wife just had a baby 2 weeks ago. He won the main event 2 years ago. Yeah, Sean Deeb won the $100,000 entry fee PLO tournament to win $3 million. Then he played a tournament the next day with 1,800 players and got second. God damn. And Sean Deeb is a sub on the stream. Watches the stream occasionally. Do you think you could become really good starting in your teens? Yeah, sure, why not? It's Dominic. He's also my friend, and he might be better than the other two guys. God damn. Dominic, like a lot of top players, doesn't think much of other top players. But there are top players that Dominic does think highly of. But typically, they're not American. That's the Dominic Nietzsche. I didn't see you at the WSOP. I got back Wednesday, and Karen got back yesterday. Karen got knocked out of the main event by somebody famous. Now we're going to see if Dominic thinks this guy is good. Jason Mercier. That's who knocked out Karen in the main event. Is he considered good by you? Not at No Limit? Man, the truth hurts. There was another guy at the table that Karen was at who was also good, like Jason Mercier. Yuri, and then I can't pronounce the last name, like Dijeshvili. I heard of him, but I can't spell his last name or pronounce it. He's also famous. Yeah, Dominic, Karen was at the featured table. And that's because those two guys were at her table. Tough table. Did you go to the World Series, Dominic, or you're not doing that anymore? I won money in blackjack, and yeah, that's the guy Delp. Yeah, yeah. You typed it in all caps. Maybe next year. Uh, I had one poker hand of note. Uh, I was playing 1-3 with the 300 max buy-in. Me and my opponent both had 800, and he raised before the flop. I made a very loose call, as I'm apt to do with Jack 8 of diamonds, and the flop was Jack 8 deuce rainbow. We had a raising war on the flop. I figured he had aces based on, rapidity of his raising. And he went all in, and I called, and he said, "Do you have two pair?" And I said, "Yes." "Do you have aces?" He said, "Yes." And my Jack 8 held up. So I won $1,600 pot in 1-3. That's very unusual unless there's like a four-way all in. But it was just heads up. I don't think I've ever won a heads up all in 1-3 for 1,600. Also, I had aces of hand and I raised. I had one caller, and the guy flopped quads. And then he won high hand, so he won an extra $100. Needless to say, what's funny is uh, some famous player got knocked out of day one a couple days ago, and he had aces against quad nines, and I had aces against quad nines. I only lost like $200 though. He got knocked out of the main event. Truth hurts. At blackjack, I don't want to say how much I won, but it was a good amount. I play $100 a hand, not because I want to, but because you have to play high limit for the rules to be good. Otherwise, they pay you 6 to 5 and hit on soft 17. I can't play at those tables. Also, on Caesars Rewards, I'm Diamond Plus now. So that's good comps. Karen did well in one tournament, Dominic. She played at Aria. Entry fee was $1,100. There were 600 players, and Karen got 13th. So she won $6,000 that tournament. That was her best tournament at the World Series. For those of you who don't know, the guy commentating in the chat, Dominic Nietzsche, is one of the best players in the world and has like $2 trillion in cashes. You can look him up. That's his name, if you haven't heard of him. Go Laptop Dominic. Dominic, I used to be good friends with Bob Schiffoni, who was a good poker player before you were born. And I asked him once, did you ever play somebody like in a home game or in the casino where you were sure they were cheating? And he said, yes. He said, but usually those guys are so bad that I don't care. As long as I know I'm going to beat them anyway, they can cheat. It's pretty funny. Skrimitsu, another poker player, is rating with a party of 107. It's Skrimitsu. We have Dominic Nietzsche in the stream. It's poker heaven in this stream. Karen's playing poker at Showdown. Occasionally, Dan Weinman goes there, but his wife just had a baby 2 weeks ago. Oh no, we're not done. We got 2 more games. Okay, the next game is Pat. It's Pat. Pat writes, this wasn't my best game, but it was a fun struggle. I opened with the English to try to reach a fresh position, but my opponent steered it right back into the Stonewall Dutch. Couldn't find a way around it, so the move order didn't end up helping much. I hesitated at several key moments, like choosing King takes F3 over E takes F3, playing A5 instead of B5, and deciding when to finally take on g6. I didn't trust my calculations as much as I should have, and it showed. Yeah, typically, when you play the English and they play a Dutch, typically you want to play for d3 and e4, especially the Stonewall Dutch. Then you really want to play e4. So you delay playing d4 and you get to play d3 and e4. That's standard practice. Yeah, Dominic, Dan Weinman is trying to get better at chess. He's studying chess a lot. Sean Deeb also plays chess, but I don't think he's trying to improve. Also, Negreanu plays chess, but man, I saw him play chess on one of his vlogs. God damn. Ugh. One of my funniest auctions in a bridge tournament, we were playing in the Nationals, Kansas City, before you guys were born. And one of us bid diamonds. Then the opponents Q-bid diamonds forever. They both Q-bid diamonds like twice. And they got to 6 of their suit. Turns out a diamond lead sets the contract because they both had 1 diamond. But we assumed at least one of them was void, so we didn't lead a diamond, and they made it. So that was funny. Unfortunate. But. We came in 3rd in the Nationals, but it was Flight C. So as long as Dominic doesn't know what Flight C is and thinks we came in 3rd in the Nationals, he'll be impressed. It would be like the under 1200 section, Dominic, of a chess tournament. But 3rd is good. Yeah, so typically, there's nothing wrong with d4, but typically white could try to play d3 and e4 here. But the d4 is fine. Yeah, this is my game with Dmitry Gurevich from the 1994 U.S. Championship in Key West. Before you were born. That was one of my nicer wins. Yeah, Dmitry played bishop e7 after I played bishop f4. When I was at Key West for the tournament, we did go to the Hemingway house. They have a lot of cats there. Yeah, the engine says white's slightly better due to black's poor bishop on c8. Ooh, h4. Ugh. Ugh. Give me a second. Ugh. Chest pains. Because h4. Yeah, don't play h4. Ugh. Luckily, it's a positional mistake, so it doesn't matter. still says white's slightly better. Yeah, black's not playing very accurately. Yeah, and g5's just a mistake. Making h4 look good. King g2 is an excellent move. Very good, Pat. The engine slightly prefers e takes f3, but king takes f3 shows you have balls, so that's good. Yeah, now white's winning strategically. White has a better pawn structure. The knight dominates the bishop. Yeah, and you should definitely be playing for b5. Oh, a5. Boo, boo. It's still winning because black has no counterplay. Yay, I was going to suggest queen f7 so that all of black's pieces were on white squares. Then black played it, so I didn't have to suggest it. It's the Pat gun. And Pat lives near Atlanta, so that's a dangerous gun. Pat's having too much fun. Yeah, the engine prefers g5. But white's still winning because black can't move. That just hangs the h-pawn. So black's been defending okay. But rook here undefends the h-pawn. So that's the worst move of the game. Yeah, now the game is over. Well, Pat had a lot of fun that game because his opponent couldn't move. Pat, what would you say Rick's estimated rating is? Like 1,500? Wow, 17, 1,800. That's pretty good. Yeah, maybe my 1,500's right. Guess the ELO. Dominic, if you're still here, one time, about a month ago, Deeb was in the chat, and I asked him how good Brad Owen was at poker, and he said 1250. Man, you guys are harsh. You know, as a chess rating for poker. Generous. Man, Ivy got knocked out quicker than Karen did. As did Blesnik. Yeah, Ivy had no chips, and he flopped top and bottom pair. And on the turn, his opponent flopped top pair. But on the turn, his opponent hit his other card. So he had a better two pair. And they got all in on the turn. Ivy only had like 15,000 chips left. So he got knocked out like the second or third level. Truth hurts. The Blesnik hand was funny. Blesnik 6-bet pre-flop with aces. His opponent had nines and called. And also 5-bet with nines. And the guy flopped a 9 and turned a 9. God damn. Confusing the audience. No, I'm against fireworks. Fireworks are bad for animals. So there shouldn't be any fireworks. Also, they injure a lot of people. Fireworks are bad. And I don't really drink, so. My dog slept through the fireworks. They weren't, like, upset. So that was good. Bonarici, as you know, except for one thing, Dominic, who's in the chat, started DTO, which you can purchase online. Go DTO. There's no chess on this stream, just poker talk. I'm drinking iced tea. Okay, last game from Delp. Delp drew me yesterday, but he had mate and won. Big money, no whammy, stop. $15. Thank you. That's a big donation. Thanks for the donation. I try not to eat sugar. I don't like sweet drinks. So it's always unsweet. Karen only drinks sweet tea. I only drink unsweet. So I'm already sweet enough. Delp. Hey, Ben, I want to play better. Please help. Okay, this is the only game submitted this week where the person who submitted it lost. Delp writes that his opponent was 2100 FIDE and time control was 90-30. How confident would you be if you played in the World Series of Poker? Well, I assume the main event. I would be confident that I would get knocked out on day one. Unless Dominic gave me a 1 hour lesson, then I would get knocked out on day two. For 10 minutes? Yay. I can't wait for a good hand, Dominic. I have to play 7-2 off like a maniac. Like, what's his name? I forgot his name. Oh, Faraz Jaka. I assume you've seen the Faraz Jaka hand where he got knocked out of the main. Yeah. The truth hurts. Yeah, great play. Yeah, he rivered himself. Okay, so this is Delp. Still theory. F3 is a little unusual. Queen C2 is a little weird. D5, confusing the audience, but I like it. The engine doesn't like that move. It wants white to castle queenside. It says it's about equal. Now it says black's better. Doesn't like that move. It wants to play knight b4. Knight b4 is a pretty strange move. The idea is black wants to take on e4, but not allow knight takes knight. Yeah, engine doesn't like giving up the two bishops like that. Yeah, bishop b5 is a little more aggressive. That move is very strange also. The engine says white's slightly better. Yeah, problem with taking with the knight is white has knight c7, forking the rooks. Yeah, the engine says rook g5 is the best move. Although white's slightly better. Now it says white has a big advantage. Threatening the rook. That's funny. White played rook d1, and the engine wanted him to castle queenside. Here, white played rook f1, and the engine wanted him to castle kingside. Chess is funny like that. Yeah, it says if black plays knight g5, white plays e5, and white's winning. Bishop g3 was a really good move in this position, because white wants to play bishop h4. Yeah, now white's a pawn up with two bishops. So white's, it says plus 3.4. Man, the truth hurts. Yeah, now white has a passed h pawn. White's played really well in this game. Black resigned because there's nothing you can do. What's funny is after knight g6, which is the engine move, the engine plays h6 and doesn't take the knight. God damn. You were too scared to sack the exchange. Always sack the exchange. You're saying you lose the exchange if you play rook g5? Oh, because of like knight c7. Yeah. Yeah, I think here is where you made your mistakes. You played bishop b4, which is not best. Then you took, which is not best. Now you're just worse. And I think after bishop c5, you're just worse. Yeah, I don't like this idea you had of giving up your two bishops. Yeah, the engine says you should play knight b4 and then take on e4, and you're slightly better. Yeah, you don't want to take on g2 and have your rook trapped. Yeah. Yeah, the truth hurts. Your opponent, I thought, played the endgame really well. Yeah, Dominic, typically Karen plays very tight, and at the featured table, she had pocket aces raised before the flop. Everybody folded. Then, like 2 hands later, she got ace king, and she raised, and she had like 2 callers, and she flopped a set of ace or trips, and then she checked the flop, and she bet the turn and folded. So she won like almost no money with her good hands. Then she blundered to lose the tournament. She had about 22 big blinds, and the guy to her right raised, and she went all in with ace queen because she wanted to double up because she was by far the lowest number of chips at the table, but by a lot. And Jason Mercier called with ace king. The guy who raised before had ace queen. He insta folded, and an ace came on the river, helping both of them, but not Karen. But yeah, Karen, I mean, her ace queen all in is crazy. Yeah, I mean, if the guy folded, if Mercier didn't have ace king, the other guy would have folded ace queen because Karen was so tight that the guy's not going to risk that many chips on ace queen. So it was unlucky that Mercier had ace king. I think Karen can either call or min raise and get away from the hand if somebody comes over the top. But okay, I mean, yeah, it was unlucky that Mercier had ace king. Mercier thought before calling because, Karen's tight, so could be beat. Mizrachi, Michael, seems to be having a good WSOP. He had a lot of chips after day one of the main, and he won the players for the fourth time. Man, the guy who wins 3 bracelets in one series isn't going to win Player of the Year. Truth hurts. Yeah, Delp, you played okay. Sometimes you lose at chess. Bonarici is correct about everything. Also, I didn't see any spelling errors. That's weird. I wonder if it's Bonarici or his cat typing. All right, that's all the games. We're going to raid somebody soon. Although, don't see any chess people to raid, just poker people. Oh, it was 56 to 54%. Yeah, that wasn't the best game. Or was it? Wednesday, I'll be doing live coverage with Mike Klein on YouTube and Twitch on one of chess.com's channels in the afternoon for a simul that David Howell is giving against some good junior players. Pluto Pulp subscribed. Why is the shelf gone? Because Karen didn't like it there. She thought it looked ugly. So she's going to put something else there. Is Queen B6 a normal move here? Engine says it's playable, but White's better after ED. I'll put it in blue because it's ED. It says knight f5 is also better for White. Now, typically, you don't want to put your queen here when there's a bishop here. Not usually. Especially since you're not attacking anything. So, yeah. Well, thanks for commentating on poker, Dominic. I hope you come out of retirement soon, make a big comeback, win the Venom again. You always win the Venom. That's my poker advice. All right, I'll see you guys Tuesday on the stream. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.